Right, everyone. So we are Billy Sit. We are back for another episode of Billy's vlog. I haven't done one of these in a while. It's always much more difficult as we get further on into the training, especially with the hunting where I'm in woodland, that you're going to see me in this little session now. Because obviously I'm traveling a lot, there's trees in the way. So I'm going to do my best to compact things down and try and show you some of the little tricks and things that I'm doing at this stage to motivate him to hunt. I'm also going to do some retriever training as well out in the field and show you where I'm at with that, just to bring you up to speed. He's not quite as pushed on as Charlie was at the same age, just because he's got a few little quirks. I have to just make sure I get it right. But I'm sure he's going to be a fantastic dog in the end. So we're going to get in this wood and I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing. Come on, Billy. Right, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing now. So I've got one of my 120 gram rabbit skin dummies, got a couple of pheasant's wings around it with an elastic band, about 1 meter of cord. And what I'm going to do is drag this around in about a 20 meter spaced area. At the end of that area, I'm also going to place down a ball at some point without him seeing, and I'm going to hunt him throughout on that scent, put down scent, give the dog something to hunt, let it have finds and motivate your dog to hunt. It's time consuming, but it gives you a much better result in the end. I also might give him a memory. I might also give him a see and retrieve off a find, where I make the dog hunt to find and retrieve, spit it out, and then throw a retrieve, give the dog a mark. I never just throw dummies just willy-nilly, because it tends to make the dog start looking at, especially him, because he's very, very dummy orientated. And as soon as he thinks that you're going to maybe throw a dummy, he's not going to hunt. And that's the thing that I need to be very, very careful of him. So I'm going to drag this around first. I'm going to show you me doing this. So a bit of steadiness training is also for Billy. So a nice wide area here. I'm literally just going to drag it around. I'll speed this bit up because you don't need to see all of it. So I hopefully sped that up so you didn't have to watch me do that. But spend time doing that, putting it down. It's good steadiness training for him. I'm now going to hunt him onto this area. I haven't actually put a retrieve down yet, but I'm going to put that down in a second. I don't want him to obviously see me do that, otherwise he could just run straight to that area. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll get a bit of hunting going. Sit. Right, so one of the things I sometimes do at the beginning to get the dogs going, you'll have seen me do this. Sometimes I pick up a small piece of stick or a bit of moss in this case, throw it down. Okay, give the dog a visual mark, and that can really kickstart the dog hunting. So here we go. You've really got to work for this. It's such a small dummy. You really, really having to figure that out. Good boy. Good boy, Billy. Good boy, well done. Good boy. Dead. So this is one of my heel. Sit. This is one of my really small rabbit skin dummies, balls. I custom make these myself. I'm going to come back here to start. I'm going to give him a little bit of a hunt. Normally, I'd be traveling a lot further, hunting the dog for longer, but it's really hard to show you that because I'll be out of shot so quickly. So I'm going to bring him back to the spot. I'm going to start again. We'll try and go a little bit further this time before I put a retrieve down. He loves anything to be retrieved, to be honest with you. But you see how he's looking at me now already? He knows when I've got a retrieve. I've got to be so clever with him. Good lad, good lad, good lad, good lad. Now I don't know, you're obviously not going to see that out to the right there, but basically I wanted to pick that retrieve. I made him spit it out because I can't pick that one if that one's in his mouth. But I don't want to just hunt him and then throw dummies, as I said previously, because it then tends to make the dog look at you all the time, especially with him. If I was even caught regularly handling a retrieve, he'd just start dancing around. So by being able to make the dog pick up the retrieve and spit it out again, means I can make the dog only have a marked retrieve off hunting and finding something. And that's one of the many reasons why I teach spit. So I'm going to pick the retrieve now. Right. Hold. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Here, sit. Dead. Good boy. So I'm going to pick up the ball that's down here now. Sit. That's mine, thank you. So we've had a bit of a hunt up through there. I've let him have a find, made him spit it out, given him a marked retrieve, and then I'm sent him. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll leave a memory down there, a memory retrieve first. Hunt up through here, let the dog pick up the retrieve, spit it out, say leave the one that I've thrown, turn the dog around, and then send the dog in a straight line for a memory. Trying to get that on shot's not the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to move the camera back and travel a little bit further down the wood now with a bit of luck. Hey Billy, sit. So what I've decided to do is what I just explained before. So I am going to throw a marked memory retrieve down here, drag a bit of scent round, hunt him up, hopefully spit the retrieve out, give him a marked retrieve, leave that, and then hopefully send him for this one. So I'm going to let him see this one, and I'm going to use a high vis retrieve for this. Sit. I don't know if I'll still be on camera here, but I'm going to basically throw it down that line there. I don't need that to be too difficult. That's why I'm using a high vis retrieve. So we're going to turn around and hunt this way now. Billy, sit. Visual, 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 visual. So I've put my marked retrieve over there. I'm now going to tell him to come to heel, walk him slightly in that direction, and then pick that memory. Heel. Right. Billy, good boy. Sit. Dead, thank you. I'm now going to bring him back to this spot. It was about here, I think. Here, Billy, 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 here, sit. And my retrieve's over there. So I'm now just going to pick that one. Right. Again, this might not be on camera. Good lad, good lad, good lad. Sit. Good boy. Here, sit. And then I'll be able to carry on hunting down the wood. And I would do that every 20 or 30 yards. The only thing is normally I don't have to worry about a camera. I can go wherever I want. I don't have to worry about where I'm throwing the retrieves. So this is a much more compact version of what I'm doing, but hopefully it gives you a good flavour for what it is that I'm trying to show you. Anyway, on to the next part of this video, Billy's 10-month-old vlog. We're going to go out into the field and we're going to do some left, right and back work, what I call the 3-card trick. That's it. Right, so we're back out in the field here now. We're going to do what's called the 3-card trick. The hardest thing about doing visual-based 3 retrieves is that whichever way you push the dog back, the dog is going to have to turn and avoid the retrieve that's out to the left or the right. I'm using high vis dummies for this because this isn't about hunting an area out. It's just about the dog making the right choice and then picking the retrieve easy. Also, I want the added pressure of the dog being able to see the retrieve out on the left and right, ignoring it and going back with the correct hand. And when I say correct hand, if I use my right hand to send the dog back, I want the dog to turn to my right, his left to go back. If I use my left hand to send the dog back, I want the dog to turn to my left, his right to go back. Hope you follow me on that. So he'll be able to see a retrieve out to the left and right. He'll know there's one behind him. He has to pick the correct one in the right order. It might go wrong on this because he's still only just getting this. I can do the 2-card trick flawless every single time, but the 3-card trick gets a bit harder. So we'll hopefully get this on camera. Right, here we go. Here, sit. So retrieve out to the left. retrieve out to the right, Billy, sit, and a retrieve behind him. I'm going to start off with my right hand to send him back. Right. The back retrieves always the harder one. Lefts and rights are easy. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Sit. That was my own fault because that wasn't at 90 degrees. He was correct. He went 90 degrees, but the dummy wasn't. Sit. So it shows you he's learnt to run in a straight line. I was just a dimwit there, not putting the retrieve in the right place. Now, this is the tricky one because he's just seen me throw that one out, and I'm going to try and use my left hand to push him back. I'm still not doing a lot of distance on this. Right! Good. So he did that. Lovely. Good boy, good boy. Sit, dead. So I'm going to put this one back out again. Sit, pick the right one. I like to make the dog be patient and wait. It's amazing how quickly they start to move. Here. Sit. Sit. They start to move on the merest bit of movement, which is why you'll see me a lot of the time doing this, because I'm trying to make the dog wait for the command and not predict it. Sit. Put that one back out. I'm actually going to pick the back one with my right hand this time, and again, this is the reason why this is harder is because the last retrieve you saw go out was the right hand one. So he knows that one's very much there. So to now push him, if I use my left hand, it theoretically would be easier because I'm turning him away from that right-handed one. So I'm going to go for the harder option. Right, but he did it, lovely. As I gain confidence on this, I would increase the distance. Sit. When I say the distance, I don't mean the distance that the retrieves are out from him. I mean the distance I am stood from him, because that's what makes it harder. Put this one back out. I'll pick the left one. Going to come back to the spot to meet him in the second. I'm going to move this round. Good boy. I just want to pick this back retrieve with the left hand quickly. Sit. Right. Good. So now that one is going to become the left one. Good boy. Hopefully this will stay on camera. Sit. So what I'm going to do, this one's going to go back out, so heel, yeah, sit. So basically this one that's here now is going to become the back one. So I'm going to put this one out, so that's going to be the right-handed one. I'm just going to pick this one here, heel, sit, because I'm being lazy. I'll let him pick it. Good boy. Sit. Now I'm going to bring him back round. So I'm basically repeating the process. Sit. I'm repeating the process now, but I've pivoted on the axis. And that's because if you always did back retrieves to the same spot, the dog would very quickly associate back with being a spot and not a direction. Threw that right one a bit far, but that's okay. Right. When a dog gets good at this, he will turn and then run. A novice dog will try and turn and run at the same time. And that's why it's really important that the retrieves are visual, because otherwise the dog will end up in all different angles before it's got a chance to learn to go 180 or 90 degrees. Nice and low with my arm. I'm not cutting the corner out like this, dropping to my hip and pushing out. Really? So I'm going to put this one back out. Sit. Sit. I'm going to pick the back one with my left hand. Sit. Right. Right. Little bit of hesitation there, but I didn't rush him. He'd stayed sat. Good boy. He's still sat. If he had got up, I'd have made him sit again, gone a bit closer, helped him make it easier and done it again. So I'm going to put this one out. Left retrieve. putting all these extra whistles in, it's just still part of training. This is still training. It's not the end result. Good lad. Good boy. So, dead. The more difficult one, sit. The more difficult one, I'm going to take him back. Heel. Here. Sit. The more difficult one, I would come out of position now. We need to come here. Sit. Always looking for 180 or 90 degrees. So put that one out to left. Now the harder one here is back with my left hand. But actually I'm going to pick the back with my right. Right. Lovely sharp turn, and then he runs. Sit. Sit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to replace that one with a different dummy that's not very visual. Yeah, sit. And now, I don't know if you can see that, just giving them a mark retrieve out there. We're going to leave that for a minute. We'll come back to that in a minute. See, I haven't given them a command. You should be able to wave your arms around without him moving. Otherwise, Billy, sit. Otherwise, as soon as you flinch, the dog's moving, it's predicting, it doesn't wait for the command, and it can end up anywhere. I'm going to put that one back out, leave that, heel, sit. Can't even see my dummy. Sit. Heel, sit. Can't even see where I'm throwing them now. Here. Good boy. Sit. If I keep going, I could spend 10 minutes doing this, but I'm sure you get the idea. I would sporadically keep putting in memory retrieves in different angles to send the dog for those. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully the audio is okay because it is super windy today. Don't forget to subscribe and like, guys. Any questions in the description below. Otherwise, happy training.